Nashville Now.
Hello, darling.
Hi, baby.
How are you?
I'm fine. How you doing?
Well, have a seat here. Let me help you scoot your chair up there. Loretta, this is your night, and we're just tickled that you could come and be with us.
Well, I'm glad I'm here, too, with you, Ralph. Because, well, I'm always glad to be with you.
You remember the night you went into the Country Music Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Who put
I
you...
barely can remember this. I was so I was so excited.
Did you have any idea that you might go into the Hall of Fame that night?
I had no idea because there had been so many people, I thought should get that besides me, that I never dreamed I'd get it yet. No. I thought I'd wait a little while before.
Who put you in? Do you recall?
You mean who said that I was in?
Yes.
Johnny Cash, I think. Wasn't it?
I don't know.
Maybe I'm worse off than I thought.
Was that a big thrill for you that night?
That's what's wrong with me. It's such a big thrill that I forgot. I mean, when I get really excited, I know that I believe it was the night that I got so excited when Johnny said that I had gotten the Hall of Fame or something like that. I don't remember.
When you get excited, is it hard to remember things?
It's hard to remember unless I take them tapes down and start looking at them again.
I see. Now, I haven't seen your road show in a long time. I used to watch you out there. You used to just stop and talk to the neighbors every once in a while. You still do that?
I still do that.
What do you talk about?
Well, we talk about whatever they want to talk about. If they've got something on their mind, they let me know it. And if I've got something on mine, I let them know it. We talk about things together.
Do people in the audience usually ask you questions and that sort of thing?
Mm-hmm.
And what do? You tell them whatever's happening in your family?
Well, sometimes, yes. And sometimes they will ask if they can't talk personally to me a little later. They don't want everybody to hear what they're wanting to ask me.
Oh, what kinds of questions would they ask you that are
it's usually
personal?
family problems like we all have.
You mean somebody going through a divorce might come up and ask you about it?
That's right.
No kidding. I didn't know that people did that.
Mm-hmm.
What other personal questions do they ask you?
Well, that their husband's stepping out on them, that, like the one song that I wrote, You Ain't Woman Enough to Take My Man, was actually wrote about another woman that was, this lady come backstage and asked me what to do about her husband because he was, had another woman in the audience and said, she showed him to me. And
she showed you the...
She said he's sitting in the 4th row and showed me the girl he was with, and I...
Oh, you mean this woman is at the auditorium with her husband and...
No, wasn't with her husband. She had asked him to bring her. He said no, because he wasn't coming. So she come to talk to me, and she seen him sitting there with this girl that had been going out with him.
She want to kill him?
Well, I looked around at her, and I said, she ain't woman enough to take your man. So I went to the dressing room and started writing.
And that's how that was born?
Yes, because the little girl...
That's funny.
This girl was just a young girl, and I guess her and I were probably the same age, and she didn't have much makeup on or anything. She was just a little bit overweight and not enough, just fluffy, as my piano player says I am. You're not fat, you're just fluffy, he says. But anyway, did I say flat or fat?
Fat.
We better get this straight, hadn't we?
What about the song Don't Come Home with Drinking with Lovin' on Your Mind?
Me and Peggy Sue wrote that. And I think we both had things in mind. And, of course, Teddy Wilburn gave us a little shove with it and helped us out on it.
I see.
But I think that Peggy had a lot on her mind, and I did, too.
Aha. Did the young lady that helped you write You Ain't Woman Enough, or the one that caused you to write it, did you ever find out what happened to her?
She wrote me a letter about 4 months after that and told me that, said, you're right, she wasn't woman enough to take my man. She said, I went and got him.
So it's a story that had a happy ending.
Had a happy ending, yes.
Well, on tonight's show, this is not only a show featuring Loretta, but it features...
And I took care of her.
What do you mean your mommy gave her?
Mommy gave her to me. She said, because she was my first sister. And because I hadn't had a sister, I was only girl for years. I hadn't had a sister for a long time. So when she was born, Mommy said, you can have her if you take care of her. I took care of her.
How old were you?
Well, I was, I think, 9. We can't lie about our ages. Now, it's too late. Our kids tells the story. I think I was 9 when she was born.
So you were diapering Peggy Sue when you were only 9?
Hey, I was doing more than diapering Peggy Sue when I was 9. I was cooking and everything. Mommy taught me how to cook. Lord, I hope Dew ain't listening to this. He would say, I know better than that, the way you cook. That's why he run me off, you know, that time.
What?
That's why he run me off when we got married, because he said I couldn't cook.
You got married to Dew and he ran you off?
He run me off at 10 o'clock in the night.
How long had you been married when he ran you off?
Well, I was married long enough to be about 5 months pregnant.
And he ran you off?
Yep.
Yeah, I guess he must have gone and got you.
He come and got me just before I was 7 months pregnant.
He ran you off because you couldn't cook?
I couldn't cook. I think there was another girl involved way back then.
You gonna put the heat on Dew on this television show?
He knows who she was. I bet she's an old pig right now, don't you?
Well, it's going to be an interesting night here. We were about to bring on Miss Peggy.
Oh, Peggy, honey, I'm sorry. Peggy Sue. Now, this is the one that helped write coal miner's daughter. Well, she's a coal miner's daughter, too. But don't come home a drinking with loving on your mind.
Miss Peggy Sue. Hello, Peggy.
Pretty, honey.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Nice to have you. You sit right there, honey. Peggy, I guess we should mention the latest special. Are you part of the latest special?
What, the 4 seasons that we're doing?
Yes.
No, she's not in this.
Who's on that show?
They got Randy Travis and Conway Twitty, Tanya Tucker and Patty Lovelace, and let me see.
Crystal. Isn't she on there?
No.
Well, I don't know why I wanted to put you and Crystal on there. I'll just
well,
take
if it'd been left up to me, they would have been. But
Anyway.
they said, well, we just done a special on Disney and called it Going Home. So this was called 4 Seasons of My Life, and they wanted to go back and get young artists that started just now and to say something about how they felt about me.
Okay.
And so it's a little different thing.
This will be shown later on this year.
Yeah, this is just like for a year thing, you know.
Now, I know Loretta was we've been talking about names. You were named after Loretta Young.
Yes.
The movie star. Who were you named after?
Well, just Peggy Sue.
Did Mama like that?
Well, Daddy always picked the first name, and Mommy would pick the second, or, you know, vice versa. So that's my real name.
How many of the kids were born in Butcher Holler?
All except Crystal.
Okay.
Well, she was in
born
Butcher
in
Holler, but
Paintsville.
she was born
Yeah.
in Paintsville. The rest of them was born by a midwife. The rest of us was born by... Maybe that's what's wrong.
Well, yeah, she's born with a real doctor.
She born, she was the only one
She's the only one that...
that a real doctor attended?
Yeah.
All of you had a midwife?
Yeah.
Out in the country?
Yeah.
How
That
far?
don't mean a thing, Crystal. She's watching us.
Is she? What? So were you too far out in the country for a doctor to come out there?
Well, you know, money back then had a lot to do with it, plus
You're out in the
most
country.
of the times the kids were already born
Mountains.
before a doctor could get there to take care of them. So.
It didn't happen that fast, Peggy.
The timing
They're
was
the
all
girls.
wrong. What are you doing? What are you doing now?
Right now, well, I just came in from Rochester, Minnesota. Still working with Crystal, doing backup,
Okay.
and anything I can get into,
Okay.
just about.
That's right.
Now, which in the family? Can you? How were the Webb children? Who was the
There
oldest?
was Junior, and me, and Herman, and Jack,
Jaylee.
Jaylee, Peggy,
Okay, Peggy was 5th.
Donald, Donald, and then Peggy, and then Betty Ruth,
Oh,
and
wait a
then
minute, hold it.
Crystal.
Let's do it again.
Okay.
Let's go from the top.
Junior,
Junior is first.
me,
You,
Herman,
Herman,
Donald, or
Jaylee.
Jaylee,
Jay Lee.
Donald,
And then
Peggy.
Peggy, you're the sixth one. Okay.
And Betty Ruth and Crystal Bell.
8 kids?
Sure was.
Boy,
4 girls and 4 boys.
Your mama sure stayed busy, didn't she?
The winters got cold.
Huh?
The winters got cold.
Yeah, and Dad was home a lot too, wasn't he? Okay. Hello, Ernie.
Hey.
How are you? Now, Ernie, correct me if I'm wrong. I think I'm right about this. You used to go by the name Coupe DeVille.
Coupe DeVille and the Cadillac Cowboys.
Were you referred to as the Cadillac of the country singers?
Cadillac of the country music, yeah. We had a couple blowouts there.
This was back, what, 10 or 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah, back when I didn't have wrinkles.
Now, Loretta, do you remember the night he was born?
Yes, I do. How could I forget that? I can remember when each one of them was born.
What special things were going on?
Well, when Ernest was born, Dew was a logger, and they would go into the woods, you know, and sometimes they wouldn't return for 2 weeks or a week or so, and so I got sick and had to go to the hospital, and they kept saying, honey, they wanted to give me a cesarean, and of course, my mother and father wasn't in the state of Washington, and I wasn't old enough to give them the go-ahead on it, and we couldn't find Dew. So they bring me too long enough to ask me where Dew was at, and I'd tell them I didn't know. And so finally he was born in 3 days.
You were in
so
labor?
So Peggy, Mommy had lots of time for a doctor.
You were in labor 3 days?
3 days.
You wasn't in labor 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days.
Ernie, where were you born?
Bellingham, Washington.
Okay, so Dew was up there in Washington
Yeah, he was
State.
Washington State.
Working as a logger.
So when he come home, he called and wanted to know whether he had a boy or girl. I guess he didn't know. And I guess I was pretty mad at him because he hadn't got in to see me. And by the time Ernest, he come to see me, why, he said, got a real nice boy there, Ma. He said, I started grinning and talking then.
Dew called you Ma?
That's what he called me.
Okay. We're going to take a break, and after this, we're going to meet Miss Cissie Lynn. Stay with us. Dew back in the mid-'70s. And back in the days when I used to haunt houses for a living, which will become evident in a moment. I weighed about 200 pounds in those days.
Oh, really?
Had 200 pounds of hair and beard and 200 pounds on my body. But I'm interviewing Loretta. It's 1976, and she's had this hit book, Coal Miner's Daughter. The movie has just become the subject that she's thinking about. Let's go to the video clip. You'll see what I mean. The book I'm holding is a bestseller here in the United States, and it tells the story of our guest star. And I wish you'd welcome her now, Loretta Lynn. Coal Miner's Daughter. Loretta, tell them the new exciting news about the book.
There's going to be a movie made of the Coal Miner's Daughter, and you was asking me if I'd thought of anybody that would, I'd like to play the Coal Miner's Daughter. And I said, no, I hadn't, because I ain't never heard anybody talk like me.
Well, all right, maybe someone. Sissie's face it could talk like you.
Well, she could after a year with me, and she can't get away from it now. It's sad.
Did you give her talking lessons?
For a whole year she was with me. You know, I brought her to the Opry. How many times?
I heard her sing with you at the Grand Ole Opry.
And she would take over a verse, and I'd take over the next, and nobody could tell which one was doing
which. Couldn't tell
which.
the difference.
Because we were together for about a year before the...
And she learned to act just like you.
Yes, she did.
And weren't you proud of her when she won the Academy Award?
Yeah, I got out there, you know, ready to go to get the award, you know, and call her up, and she's sitting there crying. And I said, what's wrong? I ain't going to get the award. And I said, yes, you are. Get up and get you a new dress. Quit crying. Go get you a new dress. You're ready. So she got it. She
did, indeed. We have another pretty young lady here, and her name is, it says Cissie here. I can't believe that you gave her that name.
Well, the reason I did, that's my mommy's name.
Really? Cissie sounds like a nickname.
No, Cissie, I give her the name because I called her Cissie for 4 years. We didn't have a name for her.
You mean when she was 4, you finally named her?
The nurse told Dew that he couldn't name her. He had to name her right there at the hospital. And we hadn't decided just yet when we took her home what to name her. So Dew said, you know what? I can't. So he picked her up and we walked out. And 4 years later, we named her.
The nurse said that
Said, you can't take the baby out without its name. And he, you know, he...
Oh, he just called her Cissie.
Yeah, so we just called her Cissie
What's
for 4 years.
What's her real name?
Clara Marie.
Claire Marie.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody calls her Cissie.
Cissie.
All right, would you please welcome Cissie Lynn. Hi, Cissie. How are you? Welcome to our show.
Thank you very much.
He didn't kiss me.
He didn't kiss you.
No, Ernie, and I am not going to kiss you either. Now, Cissie, I understand, your mama tells me you have your own band.
The Busted Cowboy Band.
And that you go out on the road. And
We work, I guess, 150 to 200 days a year.
do people come to see you if you're anything like your mama?
Why, I hope that's what they come for. Yeah, I think so. But I think after I get through, they've accepted me for me. Because I do her songs.
Do you do a lot of her songs?
I do a medley of her songs.
What do you sing of hers?
We do You Ain't Woman Enough, Don't Come Home a Drinking, Tingle Becomes a Chill, Hey Loretta, One's on the Way, Coal Miner's Daughter.
Now, tell me about this song you were just singing.
This song was written by Terry Moretti, and he presented the song to us, and we kind of changed it around for it to fit me, what I wanted to say to Mama. I traveled with Mom for a year and a half before I went out on my own, and she become my best friend. She's quite a lady.
She is quite a lady. That's a very nice thing to say. Cissie, let me show them your album. Was this your first album?
No, Letter to Loretta and Cissie Lynn both were cut at the same time.
Were they really? Do you sell these at your road show?
On my show, yeah.
Now, the Letter to Loretta is what you were just singing. And you do, are these all original songs?
Every bit of them's original. My husband wrote some of them. You remember Jerry Foster and Bill Rice?
Yes, I do.
11 of those on there belong to him. And, oh, gosh, I know I'll forget somebody. I'm too nervous.
Well, don't worry about that. They understand that. Now, this is apparently how you can order them. You see that address up there on the screen?
Yeah, that's it. That's where we live.
How much do they cost?
I think there's 3 tapes. We do the Loretta Lynn live tape that I sang on. That's Mama's tape, and I think it's 3 for $15, I believe is what they are.
Okay. Now, all right. You know, Loretta was concerned.
Love you too, honey.
Loretta was concerned about Julie being here. Julie is Patsy Cline's daughter, and she is here tonight. So why don't we get a picture of Julie? Would you stand up? We found her
Julie,
down on
stand up, honey.
Right?
There she is.
And I know you and Patsy Cline were very close.
Yes.
And there is Miss Julie.
There's Julie.
Julie, I don't know what your last name is now. Somebody help me.
Fudge.
Fudge?
You kidding me?
Like F-U-D-G-E?
That's great.
Okay. Anyway,
She's got Patsy Cline roses. See that?
what is that a special
They have
breed of rose that is called the Patsy Cline
the Patsy
rose?
Cline rose.
You and Patsy were very
Is them
close,
two
weren't you?
that you brought for me, honey? Let me show them. Okay. Bring them on up here, Julie.
This
This is the Loretta Lynn. I didn't.
Hi, Julie.
These are some cuttings that my husband cut before we left. We grow these at home. And this is a patented hybrid tea rose. And we have some bushes that Loretta wanted to plant at the farm.
And this was named after your mother.
This was named after her. It's a hybrid. It's a cross between 2 roses. The Armstrong Rose Company developed it. And they sell them through Jackson Perkins now.
Well, Julie, it's nice to see you, darling.
Good to see you.
How's Randy doing? Doing great? Great. Thank you, sweetheart.
Tell me about Patsy Cline. Didn't she take you under her wing
She
and
did.
help you a lot?
She did. She sure did.
She
I don't know what I'd have done without Patsy.
She give you a lot of advice?
Yes, she did. she would tell me she told me how to dress, and which didn't do much for me because I didn't have many dresses to dress in. But she taught me how to dress when I go on stage, and how to, you know, really, she took me shopping and bought clothes for me, and well, Patsy was pretty close to me.
Did she tell you how to work the stage?
She did. She said, don't ever go on stage with a slow number. Don't ever come off with a slow number. And I find that this is true. Down through the years, the show dies if you go on with a slow number.
Mm-hmm.
And it dies if you come off with a slow number.
Did she give you some of her clothes?
Yes, she gave me a lot of her clothes. I wore a lot of her clothes for years. I really did.
Now, when you showed up in Nashville, I'm guessing now about 1960 or 61, didn't you?
61.
And Patsy, about 61, had I Fall to Pieces.
I Fall to Pieces.
And that was her breakthrough record. Did she give you money, pay your rent?
She did quite a bit of that, and
I know you and Du were having a tough time.
me and Du was having a tough time. Yeah, and she helped me along.
How long have you and Du been married now?
Well, Doolittle, he's watching too, Ralph.
I
You
hope
know,
so.
because you helped us celebrate our 21st anniversary.
That was 20 years ago.
Yeah, and
and that was around, your anniversary's right around the first of the year, isn't it?
January the 10th. No, wait a minute, I better get this right. January.
Huh?
I'm so nervous. January the 10th. Yeah.
So this, excuse me, this past January the 10th, you have been married 41 years.
Yeah, or will be. Or have we passed it?
We
Passed?
passed it.
That's
yeah.
right, it's passed.
Not new yet. She's nervous. And her kids,
Yeah.
a lot of them. And we closed the show, and she sang a song she said she had sung to you as children called The Great Titanic. Let's go back and look at that. There's a little song that I understand that you taught each child as he or she would come along about an old boat, an old ship that went down in 1911, the Great Titanic.
Great Titanic.
Where'd you learn this song?
I learned that in school,
In grammar school?
grammar school,
Where was that?
Riceville, Kentucky.
Riceville, Kentucky. Well, now, would you lead the group that is present in that song?
I'll help them sing it.
You'll help them sing it. Loretta, would you lead it off for us?
I'll try it. She's a better singer than I am. She ought to sing.
Now, here's an old song they used to all sing at home.
The sun shone out its glory, far out on the deep blue sea. The great Titanic was sinking, far out on the deep blue sea. Captain was lying down sleeping when he dreamed a sad, sad dream. He dreamed the Titanic was sinking, far out on the deep blue sea.
That was cute. That was nice. That was your mama
That's my mom.
and some of the kids and the Great Titanic.
Yeah.
I guess we'd better move on to the next act. You want to bring them
Think so.
along?
This one is, these are the babies, and these are my twins, and they try to dress so different tonight, I don't know what they look like. And I didn't pick this outfit, Ralph. This is Peggy and Patsy.
All right.
Peggy?
You look beautiful tonight.
Thank you.
This is Peggy, and this is Patsy.
That's Patsy.
Okay. You girls, you have an act. You often sing together?
We just started really singing together last year on the road. We sang backup for Mama last year out on the road, and then we decided to kind of go off on our own. So we're kind of working together. We're both songwriters. That's what we mainly do, and so we just decided to do our own thing. So we're kind of hunting around, feeling around for the water to see if
Would you like to pursue show business?
That's really what we're trying to do. But we're basically right now getting our material together. We want to do our own material, things that we've written, and good songs like Before I'm Over You's a great song. I mean, that thing's coming back. So
Now, Loretta, did you name her after her Aunt Peggy?
Yes, and I named Patsy after Patsy Cline. And in fact, I got two girls named after Peggy. My first daughter, she's here tonight. I don't know where she's at. She's out in the back, I guess. I named her Betty Sue after my little sister Betty and Peggy Sue. And then when the twins come along, I named her Peggy.
Are they the babies?
I mean,
excuse me?
Who else did I name after you? Peggy Jean. Yeah, this is the babies.
Oh, you named this one after Peggy Sue
and Patsy after Patsy Cline.
No. Who else did you name after Peggy Sue?
My first baby, I named her Betty Sue.
Okay.
And my other sister Betty.
Okay.
Got that straightened out, didn't I?
Now, these are the babies of the family, right?
That's the babies.
Are you girls married?
I'm not.
I am.
Okay.
I'm single.
Are you the last of the single ones
The
in the
last
family?
of the single ones.
How many children have you had?
I've had 6.
You had your first one when you were quite young, didn't you?
Yes, I had 4 of them very young. And then after, Cissie was my baby for almost 10 years. So she's still my baby.
How many grandchildren do you have?
12? I think 12.
12?
I'd have to start counting Ernest Ray, you know.
Hey. Well, we ain't got that long.
I think we'll just move right along and go right on to the break here. We'll be right back.
We hope just will.
And I'd like to know where is Butcher Holler, Kentucky, and is there anything left of the home site if one wanted to visit there?
Well, the home site is still there. In fact, we went back there to do some stuff on this Four Seasons things. And in fact, it looks better now than it did when I lived there.
Where
They got 2 big side lights in Butcher Holler.
Where he wants to know where Butcher Holler
Well, where
is.
Butcher Holler is, you can't get there from here. You know where Lexington is?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it's, you know where Paintsville is? Kentucky?
Well, he can go to Lexington.
If you get to Louisy, you just ask them at Louisy, Kentucky, where...
Well, if you go to Lexington, you can take the Eastern Kentucky Parkway. And that'll take you, the Mountain Parkway. It'll take you, where, to Pikeville?
And you go into Paintsville and then to Butcher Holler.
And then you...
Yeah.
Vandalier and
You'll
then
be
Butcher
there.
Holler.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah,
and
that's
we had a picture of the old home place on the screen there as we were talking about it.
Oh.
Over on the other aisle, who would...
Loretta, I wanted to know where's Dew tonight. Did you leave him home, or did you bring him
Yes,
backstage?
he's up here in town, and he's at a place here in town, so he's watching us tonight.
Oh, well, that's good.
Okay.
Thank you.
This lady right here.
Hi, Loretta.
Hi.
I'm a twin. I was wondering, when your twins were small, did you make them dress alike?
Yes, I did, and they got into trouble at school every now and then. One would say this other one did it, and this one say no, that one did it, so they had to split them up, you know, in school, and I really got upset about that, but that's why they keep kind of wanting to dress different now.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to the other aisle, the lady in pink.
My name's Desiree Pearson from Pennsylvania. Loretta, do you plan on doing any more recordings with Conway Twitty?
Yes, he's, I think, well, I better not say anything about what I think. Yes, we do plan.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
You've often said what you think, Loretta.
Yeah, but I've stopped.
This lady right here.
Hi, I'm Debbie Yellen from Hastings, Michigan. I just wonder if you had any regrets from having your children when you were so young, and also how old you were when you became a grandma for the first time.
29.
Do you have any regrets
I have
about
any
having
regrets
kids while
about
you were so young?
I've never had a regret when I had a child, no. I wouldn't care if I had 100.
Let's go over. It's a gospel medley featuring Loretta Lynn and her family.
Put your hand in the hand of the man who steals the water.
Yeah.
Put your hand in the hand of the man who calls the sea. Take a look at yourself, and you can look at others differently by putting your hand in the hand of the man from Galilee. Galilee. sound to save a wretch like me. Oh, I once was lost, oh, but now I'm found. I was blind, oh, but now I see. Oh, I once was lost, oh, but now I'm found. I was blind, oh, but now I see. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I wandered so aimless, not filled with sin. I wouldn't let my dear Savior in. Then Jesus came like a stranger in the night. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Praise the Lord, I saw the
Wonderful. I want to thank Cissie and Jay Lee and Miss Peggy Sue right here, and Ernie. Ernie, it's good to see you.
Good to
And
see
the
you
twins,
again, Ralph.
Peggy and Patsy and Miss Loretta Lynn. This has been fun.
It sure has.
And I want to thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming and bringing your family tonight.
Ralph,
Yes.
can we thank our daddy? We have to thank our daddy too, because he's the one that kind of put this thing pushing us kids, and so I got to thank my daddy out here.
Her daddy, that's right.
We've got to go. Dave Thornhill, if you will, play us off. Good night, everybody.